Was the music?
Hello, hello, hello. It is Cassandra Terry. Welcome to the Transformation Tuesday edition of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. We have all of the Fam Five with us today, so it can't be anything but a good day. So, welcome, my brother Jay Pasquale, the storytelling strategist, my sister Denise Spiller. Denise, the gig expert, the gig expert. You don't have to tell people what that means. I bet everybody doesn't know what that means. So when we get to you, share a little bit about what it means to be the gig expert. We have my brother Brian, Mr. Content, aka the Dadpreneur. And we have Eric Clark, the baby brother of the bunch. Our soul speaker is in the house. So we are going to get started today on this Transformation Tuesday. How y'all feeling? Everybody feeling good this morning?
Feeling fantastic.
Fantabulous, feeling fantabulous.
What
All
do
right.
I'm doing good, doing good.
Doing good, doing good. Okay. I have zero complaints. I woke up a little I made a bad food choice last night while I was getting my hair done. I needed something quick to keep the energy going. So I was feeling it this morning, but I feel great now. I'm excited to see everybody. All five of us have not been together for a minute. So that makes me happy. The energy level is up. I am ready. I am ready for this day and what it has to bring. And remember, how you decide to show up in your day is going to help dictate how your day is going to unfold. So just because we said we're feeling good and we say it's going to be a good day, it shall be so. Because that's what we're going to experience, because that's what we are creating. And we are hoping the same for each of you. We are hoping the same. Let's see. Um, Let me find. I thought I saved the quote last night, but I actually don't see it. Jay, do you have the quote handy, or any of you guys want to share what the quote is? It looks like I didn't save when I updated the quote. I was gonna flash it up there, but I don't see it. Hey, Eric, there you are.
Hey,
Good morning.
I just included it in the chat.
I got it, and I'm actually.
Grand Rising.
Let me see if I can. Oh, I can't. But I'll just go ahead and read it. So it is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. Charles Darwin. So it's all about being adaptable, not only just accepting change, but responding to change. And I love that he says responsive. He didn't say reactive. He said responsive to change, because when we respond, we are showing up with our whole self, mind, body, spirit. When we react, it's typically an emotional, it's the lower of the responses. It's something more emotion based. And we often don't show up as the best version of ourselves when we're in that reactive state. So even in the words that he chose, it aligns so beautifully with the things that we talk about on a regular basis. So I'm going to read it one more time. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. Charles Darwin. That's somebody who knew a thing or two about a thing or two, right? So we're gonna listen to Mr. Darwin this morning. Greetings, Conchita. She says it's gonna be an amazing day. You are absolutely correct. Thank you for joining us again. It's always great to have your positive energy in the room. So, y'all, we're streaming all over the place. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, and now we're, thanks to Denise, we're also streaming on Twitter. And not only are we on my page, but we're on most of the Fam Fives pages also. That's one way that we've adapted to change. What has gone on with the Cassandra Terry Morning Show has been a consistent evolution and adaptation to what's available to us, to what you guys are responding to. It started off as me just yakking every day on my own. And then Brian showed up with me one day, and he never left. And a couple days later, the rest of the Fam Five were here. And now we have what you see today. What it looked like, the backgrounds, the colors, everything that you saw was so different. It wasn't even called anything. It was just whatever the day was. We talked about that day. And while I was on vacation, I think it was Jay who said it first, the Cassandra Terry Morning Show, and Eric just picked it up like a football. Eric, you were a football player, right? I'm having a revelation right now, y'all. Eric is known to pick up something and run with it. He back in his football days. That's what's happening. He picked that thing up and he ran with it and it stuck. And it's been that ever since. So we gotta pay homage. And I'm from Texas, so football is big in Texas, Eric. So now we get it. We get it. I just had a full circle moment. He picked up that ball and ran with it, and here we are. Jay has continued to transform what the show looks like. I'll have an idea and created the sun in the background like you guys see now, and he took it and he just altered it and made it better. He looked at the as much as the sun and the colors and just altered it. And because there's no ego, because we're a collective, because we're working together and we all have our own unique ideas, those ideas are pouring into what we're doing and making things better. Every time there's the opportunity to change, how you show up in that change will determine how you experience it. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? There's probably some positive and negative, some good and some difficulty in just about everything we do, even the things that are most fun. But where are you focused? What are you deciding to do in that moment? Are you deciding to make the most of it, to grab the lessons, to evolve, or are you resisting the change, dragging your feet? Have you ever had a kid throw a temper tantrum? And it doesn't matter how small that kid is. When they just become like dead weight and drag their feet, if you're not careful, you're going to hurt your back trying to get the smallest kid to move. And that's what we're like, even as adults, sometimes when we have to deal with change. We become dead weight, we drag our feet, and we leave it up to those around us to drag us across the finish line, or we stay stuck where we were, and the opportunity that change is bringing passes us right by. By the time we wake up to it, the rest of the world's already grabbed all the juice out of it, and we've missed a lot of the opportunity that could have been ours as well. So the only constant is change. Change is happening all the time. How you plug into it, how you experience it, will determine whether or not true transformation takes place. True transformation takes place when you take something and integrate the learning from it into your day-to-day, into how you show up in the world. I can change for a moment. I'll change my dress. I'll get comfortable after this and change into something more comfortable and relaxed, right? But to transform is to go so much deeper than that surface level. When I'm transforming, I'm taking the best that I can out of every situation. I'm working on my mindset. I'm deciding how I'm going to show up. Maybe I have a goal and the goal is big. If I don't decide to do something differently, I'm never going to get there. Or if I do, it's going to be a miserable, long trip. So my encouragement to you is not to push so hard against change, but to figure out how the change that's happening around you can better you and your situation, because it's going to happen anyway. So grab hold of it, figure out what's best in it for you, how you can best utilize it in your world, and then take the lessons from it, integrate those into your lives. And that's where the transformation starts to really happen. Right? I've transformed from the inside out. The outside is not nearly as important as that internal messaging. That's why we talk about the voice within. My voice within used to tell me I'm not worthy. My voice within used to tell me I'm not good enough. I don't look as good as the next person. I'm too short for this. I'm too black for that. I have too much of a Texas drawl for the other thing. There were all these messages. You better get that right, because people only like you because you make them laugh. You make them feel good. I had all these messages that told me I had to perform and be a particular way in order just to be liked by the world. But who wants to be around those people anyway? So if I have to be someone other than who I am in order for you to enjoy or want to be around me, you're just not my person. And I had to learn that it's not a negative, it's not a hit against me. It just means there's something between me and that person that doesn't align. And I had to learn how to let things go, how to let people go without diminishing me and who I am. I write my narrative, not anybody else. I will take in the feedback so that I can continue to evolve, continue to transform, but I'm not going to ever again in life let someone else narrate for me. It's my life. I've had the experiences. I will continue to have the experiences. I've taken every hit. I've bounced back from everything that's come my way, right? You all have. Everything that I'm saying in the I, so can you. You can look in the mirror and say the exact same thing, and it will be true of you and your journey. Every hit, everything that's come your way, you've taken it. You've responded. You've transformed. You figured out how to get through it, right? So how that looks, what those things, those experiences mean, you decide. Write your narrative. Determine who you are. Stand on that 10 toes down and don't let anyone else ever do that for you. That was my problem. That's a people pleaser at their core, waiting on somebody to cheer them on, waiting on somebody to tell them they did a good job. You know whether or not you did a good job, right? Don't you? At your core, when you've performed well, you know it. Will that ever be good enough, though? You won't be truly free until the answer to that question is yes. You have to be able to evaluate you, understand where things are going well, cheer yourself on for that, see where you can improve, take the actions there, and just keep moving. The cheering will come, the band will play, but when it doesn't, you still should feel great. You should be able to look in the mirror, cheer yourself on, be your own best advocate. You have to be. Because if you're waiting on external factors to do it, you're at the mercy of everyone else. You're at the mercy of their opinion. You're at the mercy of their mood. You're at the mercy of what they want to give you versus what they don't. Be able to fill your own cup. Be able to enjoy your own company. When you can do that, that's a transformation like you'll never believe. When you don't require external validation, now you're in a position to where the decisions that you make are truly yours. They align with your values. They align with what's important to you. You can prioritize accordingly, and you can feel good about that whole process. When you're dependent on someone else, all you can do is react to their demands, react to their wants, react to their desires. You end up living someone else's life. And your life is more important than that. You're more valuable than that. There's something uniquely placed within you that you're designed to give to the world. There's your message that we're waiting to hear, not someone else's version of who you are. But when you step fully into your gifting, when you are standing in who you are, that's when the world is a better place because it's getting from you what you were and only you can give it. You're the missing puzzle piece in someone's world. You're that missing piece. Your message is just what they need to give them enough light to keep going. So your transformation isn't even just for you. It makes the world a better place because that's one more citizen that's showing up as the best version of their self, their cup full, ready to pour into others. When your cup is full, you're able to pour. You have more to share, right? And so on this Transformation Tuesday, that's all I'm asking. Figure out who you are. Write your narrative, which includes places to improve. And when you find them, instead of beating yourself up, create a plan. How am I going to go about making that change? What do I need to do differently? Do I need to learn something? Do I need to repair a relationship? Maybe I need to do some counseling to get my head right. Maybe I just need a coach and working with somebody to help me be accountable and build my plan. You only the answer lies within you. Only you know where it is. But you have everything that you need to create the life that you desire. Some of the people that I know that are struggling the most financially and emotionally, from whatever way you want to look at it, are also some of the most talented, capable people that I know. So that gifting, it was placed inside of you to move you through the obstacles and difficulties that show up in life. But when you ignore that gifting, you ignore the very thing that's going to push you through. So if you're a singer, sing. If you're a writer, write. If you're an encourager, encourage. If you're meant to have your show, figure it out, get it done. Whatever it is that is your gifting, it was placed inside of you. That desire was placed inside of you for a reason. And part of that reason is to elevate your life and the life of your family tree, those that are going to come behind you. When you break the family curses, when you step outside of the things that people say, oh, it's just always been like that for us. Don't accept that. Don't accept that. Denise talks about that on a regular basis, and I won't tell her story, but in general, she talks about how there's some health dynamics in her family that is just a thing in her family that everybody has. Denise made a decision. She said, not me and mine. And because she made that decision, her choices aligned with that decision. And to this day, she and her kids are the only one in her family that don't suffer from that dynamic. Those are the types of things that we can do when we tap in and make decisions for ourselves, when we don't just follow what was, when we're ready for transformation. I said it to Brian the other day, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When you're ready to make that change, the atmosphere around you is going to start changing. The people who show up in your lives, like the 4 people that are with me today, are going to be people who can move you towards that decision that you made, or people who will hold you accountable and lift you up. So when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. The tools, the opportunities, the things that you need will show up, and you will have the opportunity to transform your life and be what it is that you intend to be. But it starts with making that decision. Once you make that decision, things will start to align for you. So that's what I wanted to share. I don't remember. You guys were all here for the most part before I was. So I guess we'll go the way I see you. But before we do that, let me ask the Fam Five, does anybody have like a room or something coming up so you need to drop pretty quickly? Because if so, I can get you first.
Me and Mr. V are on at 9:30, but I don't think that means I need to shoot to the front of the list. We still got an hour.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that, Eric. And let me quickly, we have quite a few folks who have commented, and it's funny that you just spoke, Eric, because the first comment is from Conchita saying Eric is a superstar. And Sonia said, good morning, family. Conchita, my favorite saying is change can look like chaos until it's complete. It has been words to get me through difficult times. Oh, that's too good not to share. Check that out, y'all. My favorite saying is change can look like chaos until it's complete. It has been words to get me through difficult times. I love that, Conchita. And it's funny, it reminds me of a blog post I did about a year ago. It was called The Chaos of New Beginnings. And I was just really just writing about how even good change is chaotic. That new baby comes in the house that you've been waiting for the last 9 months, if not longer. And excited as you are about bringing your baby home from the hospital, you're not going to sleep for months. Chaos. The things that you used to do are difficult to do because now you got to plan for that, everything around that little life. Chaos. You wanted this big brand new house. You get it. Now you've got to furnish it. Your light bills, all the utilities, everything skyrockets. You have to figure out how to take care of the yard. Chaos. You've been dating this cutie for the longest and y'all finally decide to get married. Now you've got to figure out how to really blend these two lives together. Oh, I didn't know you were like this in the first thing in the morning. Oh, I didn't know you like that. And you've got to figure out how to work it together. Chaos. All of those things were things that you wanted. They were gifts. They were advancements, accomplishments. But there's chaos in the beginning until you incorporate it really into your world and find your new normal. It's exactly what Conchita said. It's chaotic. So chaos is not always necessarily coming from negative things or difficulties. We find there's chaos in just new beginnings. New as we go through life's transitions. They can be very, very chaotic until you get your footing. So absolutely, I love that quote. Deborah says, good morning. Yes, it's my life. Michael says, good morning, my able coach. I've just learned, I have learned that Michael's title for me. Even when he writes me, he's that's how he starts it. So thank you, Michael. It's great to see that you're here this morning. Conchita says, preach Queen Cassandra. And David Jones, we're gonna put this one up here too. Change your energy, change your world. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so Jay, we'll pitch it over to you. Let's hear what I've talked my head off this morning. So let me mute my mic and rest my throat, and let's hear what you've got for us on this Transformation Tuesday.
Thank you, Cassandra. Um, as I always do, I'll start out with the Bible verse. So this morning's Bible verse is Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So, thinking about that Bible verse, when we talk about not conforming to the pattern of this world, I mean, it just speaks plainly. So, for believers, we shouldn't be adopting the values or priorities and behaviors of the world. Don't just follow blindly. Instead, that part of the verse encourages people to resist to conforming to the norms in society. And then being transformed by the renewing of your mind, the verse suggests basically a positive alternative to conforming, right? The transformation that's being talked about is renewing one's thoughts, attitudes, and perspectives. And in Christianity, this renewal comes through like a deep understanding of alignment with God's word, prayer, and spiritual growth. So the verse really, in its entirety, encourages believers to resist conformity and undergo a transformation and discern and align our lives with God's will. And so, when I was thinking about um, Cassandra and what she was talking about and her life experience, you know, uh, we kid a lot about um, her spunkiness as and her life experience as a cheerleader. and her height. And I heard that part of it in what she was talking about. But you know what? I can remember a cheerleader who was short and who did not conform. And if you're old enough to remember the singer Paula Abdul was a cheerleader for the NBA, and she was 5 foot nothing. And so trying to conform, she didn't make it. But when she stepped out into her purpose, what she wanted to do, her passion, she was able to overcome adversity and overcome her critics, her haters, her detractors. And if there's anything that we can gain from Paula's life and her time in the NBA, it's that persistence and resilience. She faced a bunch of setbacks and challenges because of her height, but her passion for dance and entertainment overcame all of that. She put in the work. She evolved. She transformed what was adversity became her inspiration. And so it demonstrates her versatility, it demonstrates her adaptability, and it demonstrates the power of that thinking of transformation, that we don't have to conform to what society expects. And if you're a believer, it can be even deeper than just your career. It can go directly to your spirituality, it can go directly to your faith, and it can have impacts beyond just you and your life. It can have an impact on the world around you and those that look to you as an example. So, this is what comes to me when I hear the quote and I listen to the Bible verse. And what came to me when listening to Cassandra, and I want to ask Cassandra, what do
Yes,
you think? What do you think about my thoughts on Paula Abdul?
love it. Actually, what I was thinking about, well, my brother just slid from Romans into straight up. Now tell me, I am old enough to remember. So love the versatility, love, and I loved growing up Paula Abdul because I saw somebody that looked closer to me. I saw somebody that was small and, like you said, spunky and was unapologetically gleeful and cheerful and just out there doing her thing. She was also outspoken, though. When you are small and you're in a big world, which the whole everything feels like a big world when you're 5 foot nothing, talking from experience here, although I'm 5'1.5". You everything is big around you, just simple things like reaching something off the shelf can be challenging, and you learn to adjust to that in different ways. Do you play into and be coy and let everybody help you and do things for you? And I've seen people who they take their smallness and use that as a way to make other people feel even bigger. So people just naturally want to do stuff for them. And then there's folks who are, I can do it myself, and I'm very, and are adamant about being strong and being seen as strong, because by your physicality, you're assumed to be weak. It reminds me of one of my classmates when I was growing up. I had a friend, Kim, and Kim had contracted bone cancer, and eventually she lost a leg, and then another leg. And we were still we were young. We lost Kim. I want to say in the 6th grade. But what I will never forget is not the things that she lost, but it was even her life. But the things that really stuck out for me was her resilience and her absolute requirement that everybody treated her the way they treated all the rest of us. So don't go out of your way to hold the door open for her. Don't try to make special accommodations. She just rebelled against all that stuff. She just wanted to be a kid like all the other kids around her. And I can't remember exactly how it went one day, but somebody, I don't know if we were going up the steps in the gym of the school or what it was, but somebody was really going out of their way to be nice, and help her. And instead of her receiving it that way, it kind of triggered her, because it made her feel like she was standing out and not being seen, just as a kid, not like the rest of us. And she kind of pulled away from him, and she's like, I can do it myself. And we see that in our toddlers as they start to gain their independence. They start to say, no, I can do it. I can do it myself. And that I have always remembered and carried the spirit of Kim with me, because I always wanted to do it myself. Now I have a little princess in me. I'm not wearing pink for nothing. They laugh at me all the time because there's glitter everywhere. So I can be a girly girl, and I love when my husband takes care of me and does stuff and all that kind of thing. But the reason I'm okay with it is because I know I can do it myself. It's different to have someone want to be nice and gracious to you. It's another thing to be totally dependent on someone because you don't know your own strength and what you're capable of yourself. And it's just a difference. And Kim left that spirit with me, and I'm so grateful to have that example so early in life. It's hard to lose somebody that young, but man, did she make an impact in those few years that she was here. I've never forgotten that. We were not even teenagers back then. I'm 55, and I can remember that spirit and how she showed up, and I can do it myself, standing on her own. It's not to say that, none of us are self-made. We all have support systems and people that help us get where we're going. So when people start talking about self-made, they've probably forgotten a lot of folks along the way that helped on their journey. So I'm not saying that, but I am saying to know your strength, to know your capabilities, to stand on them, and to develop them. Develop those strengths, your gifting, the things that people know you for, the things that people that you're just naturally good at. Those are clues to what your gifting is. And when you start to really pour in and develop those things, you'll be amazed at what will open up for you. We've got a few more quotes, so thank you for that, Jay. And I can relate to Paula, so yeah. So I'm right there with you. That was a great how you connected those two ends and brought them together, still talking about transformation. Let's see. Conchita said, thanks, Jay, for the word from Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed. Deborah said, spiritual growth is essential. Conchita said, love that. Adversity became inspiration. And that's something you said. I don't know if you realize, but you kind of said that early on, Jay. And she also said, Paula Abdul is a perfect example of overcoming the height deficit. I can personally relate to such a dilemma. You and me both, Conchita. You and me both. All right. So with that, the next person that I see on my screen is Brian. So Brian, if you're a place where you can unmute and share, Would love to hear what you have to say on this Transformation Tuesday.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, Cassandra. Thanks, Fam Five, for making me get to moving sooner than I would like to today. It's raining down here, and I like to move slow when I want to move slow, and that's what I do. But talking about transformation, I think about, I liken transformation to cleaning. Like that's what I've always had in my mind is when you go in to clean something, it always gets messier before it gets clean. And that's what life is. That's how I see my life. I see my life as big a big house, right? With different rooms in it. And I have to go through here and clean the rooms out every so often. And before I clean the room up, it always gets messier before it gets clean, before it gets organized, before it gets the way that I need it to feel. Because I don't like clutter. I like organization. And, if you're living, every now and again, it's going to get organized. It's going to get a little messy. And you got to go back in there and clean it up. And that's, I believe, the biggest issue with transformation is the work that's involved. No one wants to put in the work. Everyone wants the grand prize. Everyone wants the end result.
My
Nobody-
instant gratification nation.
Instant gratification nation. Yes, that's what we are. We're a microwave society living in a crock pot world, and everybody wants it now, now, now. And that's just not the way it is. You got to put in some work in order to get those things that you want. And something that really comes to mind for me is this transformation in the business world. We were talking about it a couple of days ago. And the reason it seems like such a big hurdle is because most people don't have that definite objective in mind. They don't have that end game. They don't have that ultimate goal that they're looking to achieve. So, it makes it look like, unsurmountable chaos. I'm just not going to be able to get through this. I'm never going to get this right. But when you know where you're going, it shifts your perspective. It gives you new insight. You're able to say, okay, I see that over there, and I see everything I got to get through to get to that. And I know the path I'm gonna take to get there because I know where I'm going. So your one of your guests last night on your Monday evening show made a comment, the guy that had the TEDx speak. He
Yeah,
made
that was Doug.
Doug, yeah, Doug.
Mhm.
Doug made a comment about knowing those goals, and when you know your goals, you're able to attract, for lack of a better word, the things that you need to do to get to that goal. But you have to set that goal first. You have to have that objective in place before you can say, okay, in order for me to get here, I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to have to give up A, B, C, or I'm going to have to talk to, you know, LMN. You just don't have that if you don't know where you're going. And that's one of the things that I think about when I think about business now. Business is changing. Content is becoming a big deal. Artificial intelligence is everywhere.
Mhm.
And if you're not adept to this new change, then it's going to look like chaos for you. It's going to look like chaos because there's a lot of work involved. You got to do a lot of things that you haven't been accustomed to doing. And you can liken that to your life, you can liken that to your family, you can liken that to your work, you can liken that to everything. Anything that you want to do in life is going to require some transformation on your part, and that transformation requires work. Know where it is that you want to go to, and you can make a path to get that work done.
Yep. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. You have to know where you are. You have to be really clear about where you would like to be. And then the work is just charting the course between point A and point B. So that clarity, that self awareness is absolutely necessary for that trip to from dream to accomplishment. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So next up, because I know it's getting closer and closer to your show, Eric. So why don't you go ahead and come off mute and share with us what's on your mind this morning?
Good morning, Grand Rising. Hello, Jay, Denise, Brian, Cassandra. Good morning this morning. Transformation Tuesday. Um, Powerful sharing. My brother, Brian. I was writing down definite objective again. We speak about that every day. And so I hope that people are the folks that are listening every day are starting to understand it and make sure they understand that definite objective. Gotta have it, gotta know where you're starting, know where you're going. But on the flip side of that, and what I want to talk about today, what I was inspired about is what you get on the other end, which is freedom. To be able to take that mask off, to be able to not be dictated by other people's goals and uh, standards for you, right? I think Cassandra spoke about this last night when being able to be fully yourself, to be able to stand 10 toes down as who you are and represent yourself. That is the freedom. That is the reward in this. So yes, it's a lot of work. We talked a lot about the work, being able to look in the mirror, tell yourself what you need, and do that consistently is important. And that's sometimes it's not going to be easy sometimes, but it is worth it. It is worth it. You will gain freedom in that. The freedom from not having to live up to others' expectations. That can make you go crazy. That can make you feel crazy. To know that uh, you're never living up to the goals set by other people. To feel like the goalpost is always moving. Well, you feel like that because you're not setting the goalpost. You're not setting the standard. You're not setting the benchmark. Spend some time in the mirror, eye to eye, alone, writing it down, uh, working on that mindset, working on those affirmations so that you can build yourself up versus living by the standards that others set, which can take away from you and leave you feeling dejected and you can't accomplish those goals. And so those are two things I wanted to highlight. I wanted to mention that we had covered and speak about it in a little bit more depth. I just think we're right on when we're talking about transformation. Brian or Jay always coming with the Bible verse, of course. And so just incredible this morning. I appreciate it. I'm grateful to be here. Cassandra, I'll throw it back over to you. I hope our sister Denise is still with us. I didn't even say hi to Denise. Denise, sister, Grenada, good morning, Grand Rising. I hope you're with us.
Good morning. I'm here. I
All
am
right,
having a
all
little
right.
bit of connectivity issue, but I am
Okay.
here. That's why I'm keeping the picture off because when I turn on the camera, I really fizzle. So
Yeah. So thank you so much for that, Eric. And what you said was really resonating because that really is the true definition of freedom, is knowing who you are and being comfortable showing up as that person and building a community of folks that support who you really are so that you're not consistently morphing and changing to try and meet the, like you said, the requirements of other people. When that external validation is what you're looking for, you don't ever get there. Or if you do, it's fleeting. You have it for a moment and then it's gone. So now you've got to work just that much harder to get it back. That validation needs to come from within. You temper that with the feedback of others, especially those that you trust and those that you know have your best interest in heart. So when you're getting feedback, it's not like you just go, "Oh no, I'm writing my own narrative. I know who I am." It's not, you don't live your life in a bubble. You want to evaluate that feedback based on your goalposts that you set for yourself, and then you can adjust accordingly. Somebody may see something that's a blind spot for you, or something that you've done for so long that you don't even realize it. So you can make some adjustments along the way. You should, because we're evolving, we're transforming. So you take the feedback of others and you take what's good from that can help you grow, and you set aside the rest. It has no more power than what you give it. And so I tell people that all the time. What you think of me ain't none of my business. It's really not at the end of the day. But when you're a part of my community, or I stumble upon you, you stumble upon me, and you may highlight something that I need to work on, thank you for that. Because now that's another place where I can put in my need to improve column, and I can build a plan to shore myself up in that space. But in doing that, I'm just talking about getting better. I'm not punching holes in my character. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with me. Here's just an opportunity for me to grow. If that's the type of feedback that we want. But we're not walking around going, oh, no one's told me I'm good today, so I feel bad. No, we have to get that from within. Like you said, Eric, look in the mirror and know for yourself who you are and whose you are, and be able to rah yourself right on through your day and everything that it is that you are looking to accomplish. So with that, we're going to pitch it over to Denise, who is coming to us from Grenada, our gig expert, who makes our panel truly international. She's in Grenada right now, and she's been there for a minute. We're trying to get her back home, and she's just too busy to be bothered. So go
I
ahead,
love
Denise.
that.
Whatever is on your heart, we can't wait to hear it.
I love that so much. And a lot of times you come to me first or second, so I don't have that wonderful feedback that includes some of the great things I've heard from our brothers. But I really appreciate this thing you just said about the need to improve column. I had a hard lesson last week in expectations and feedback. And what I put in my need to improve column, as you call it, I love that. It gives us room to grow. And we do need that. I shared in our room, Eric, last Thursday, that I'm going to say I allowed it because nobody can take anything you don't give them. So I allowed the response of a family member to some great news from me to just pop my bubble that day, and it kind of sent me to tears. So I'm glad you guys reminded me it does come from within. You look in the mirror and you tell yourself who you are, and you remind yourself who you are. And if you're looking to validate that from outside, which, as I reflected back, I think I was doing that. I think I wanted to hear good job. I wanted to hear, girl, you are rocking it. You're a badass. I wanted to hear those things from that person. And so I took some time to reflect on the love and the flowers and just the uplifting that I received from Eric and from our room last Thursday. They just loved on me. And I was listening to them. And while I was listening to them, I was crying again because I had really had a rough day. So I wanted to open by saying thank you for the reminder on that one, Eric and Cassandra. But I wanted to say, one, my definite objective that Brian always talks about, and that he don't be talking about it to me. He threw a brick through the window with my name on it. It said definite objective on it. Thank you, Cassandra. That's exactly what he did. And it hit me in the head. And he basically is like that tough love big brother where I don't want to hear nothing else from you until you finish this, because it's so important. It's so important to know, what are you walking for? What is your why? Who are you moving for? How are you moving? But why? I know what I'm doing. I know how I'm doing it. But I think I needed to sit down and take a minute to get back to why, because I'm so busy moving. Physically, I am so busy moving. And I used to call it chasing the bag. I'll get to that gig part in a minute, Cassandra, that you asked about it earlier. I stopped calling it that because it's catching the dream. I'm not just chasing it. I'm like holding it. I have a picture to share with you guys later where the sun was coming down and I cupped, my friend cupped the palm of their hand. And when we took the picture, you guys have seen that before, we caught the sun in his hand. And it's like, wow, I'm not chasing the bag. I'm not chasing the dream. I'm catching it in every moment. So thank you guys for that. The first thing I wanted to say on this Transformation Tuesday was, be careful not to allow others' doubts about what you're doing and who you are to seep, creep, or ooze into your spirit. They don't really pour it in. See, they're not doing it intentionally. They don't always know what they're doing. They're not, I don't really believe anyone in my family or close friend group is intentionally trying to break my spirit. But the words that they say in their own doubt, in their own experiences and in their own limited belief system can ooze slowly into your spirit. You can play those words back. So you have to be careful who you allow to pour into your spirit. So I was having a conversation the other day and I was like, this is who I am. I'm okay with not knowing where I'll be in 2 weeks. I'm okay with not knowing exactly where I'll be next month. It's kind of exciting for me. But a person who was asking me on the phone, again, a family member, right? They were saying, hey, so will you be here for Christmas? I said, oh, I don't know. What are you gonna do for Thanksgiving? I said, well, they don't celebrate it here, but I would be really happy if I could just go down to this Pizza Hut that they just put in Grenada and get myself a pizza, you know? And I was laughing. It was with joy that I was saying these things. I haven't had pizza in a month. So I'm grateful to be in a country where if I could just get myself a pizza, you know, one pizza is gonna last me like 3 days, right? So I was sharing that. And the response was, you don't know anything. I said, well, I may not know the answer to the questions that you're asking me because you want a definitive, definite answer, but I know some stuff. And I laughed again. So that was just my way of pushing that back, remaining in my own strength and not giving away my power. This is who I am. I'm okay with it. I'm very proud of myself. And I do have some things in my need to improve column. I hope I always do because it shows that I can grow and that I'll be a life learner and I can get better and I can take that to other people. So now back to the transformation side of things and being a gig expert. Been called a lot of stuff. It's side hustle used to be the thing, hustler, gig expert, whatever, right? Over the last 3 years, Brian had mentioned about AI being everywhere. My writing and freelance writing jobs sort of slowed down as a lot of people aren't just looking for a writer. If you tell me you're a content creator or a writer, I'm kind of like, if I can do it myself, how can I hire you? And that's what I was experiencing as a person who was calling myself a freelancer. And so I figured out a way to turn my skills, my expertise, my training skills, all of that into a freelance profession. And as a gig expert, I show others how to do that like for themselves. So I host events, I teach people, and I guide people how to cultivate their ideas, their products, their skills into sources of income. I do that because that's what I've been doing for myself for about 10 years, but full time since 2020. And I've just decided to tap into my spirit as an educator and as a servant leader and as somebody who truly loves people. Like I'd love to meet people. I just take those three things, I put it all together and I say, now let me show you how to take those things that you do naturally. Some of them are hobbies. You just start talking to people and you say, oh, you do this or you do that. It's so many things and show them how to turn it into income using the internet, using AI, getting online. And here in this case, I want to tell you guys about a young man who walked into my workshop. He just got a cell phone. I say young man, he's actually 73 years old. He was proud to share that with us. He walked into the workshop with a bottle. It looked like a bottle of wine, but it's an elixir. It's a health drink that he makes from his farm way up in the mountains of Grenada. Beautiful place. I got to go up there. There are what they still call bush people living up here in these magnificent mountains. I have so many videos and pictures to share. He got a cell phone because somebody made him. There are really, truly people who are physically disconnected from the internet by choice, disconnected from this global economy, from this gig economy by choice. So he's asking, can you come over to my parish and can you show me how to do what you're doing? And I've literally developed a little 3-page plan for him that I had to print out because he's not getting online. He's very clear about it. So I have to figure out how to help him locally make a living of what he's doing. He's already making a living, but he needs to expand. And so we have also worked with somebody here locally to help him get online. He's telling us he ain't getting online. He said, I'm not getting online. It no be easy. I said, okay, I understand. It's not easy for him. He doesn't want to do it. So we're partnering him with a local who's going to carry it along. And we've built him a little affiliate program. So he sells his elixirs as an example to somebody out there might already have a product. So If you sell it for $50, now he's selling the EC50. That's Eastern Caribbean dollar. That's their currency. That's approximately $30 US. If you're selling something for $30, would it hurt you to give $5 to somebody who brought that into you at 30 that you might not have had? Or would it hurt the product to add $5 so you don't have to take out of your top cut? You can look at it either way. You can either take the 5 out of the 30, you earn 25 per bottle, or make it 36. And everybody that brings you a customer, they get $6. That's an affiliate program. You have your own if you have a product. So for every person, now he's the one who actually introduced that to us in his program. He said, anybody here who sells a bottle, I'll give you 10. And I was like, wow, he already has an affiliate program. He sells the bottles for 50. He takes home 40. If I sell one, I get 10. So he's working something that he doesn't even know, just being innovative. So I hope that explains it, Cassandra. I wanted to say one more thank you to Kachita for that great quote. Change can look like chaos until it's complete. Ooh, I could relate to that personally. Lord have mercy. Sometimes I think to other people, my entire life looks like chaos, but I'm looking at it, and a lot of times it's already complete, or I have to walk towards that completeness, get there with confidence, and be willing to transform in the moment, take a deep breath, make some adjustments, and keep walking through the chaos until I get to completion on that project. I appreciate you guys so much. I want to tell you, Cassandra, Jay, Brian, Eric, every day. Cassandra, you almost made me cry when you shared that family story, because I've never actually heard anybody else say it. But myself and my 2 children are not carrying the lifelong disease that has plagued my family because of my choices and because of the diet that we choose to incorporate. Like, I don't eat pizza every day. It's going to be a treat come Thursday, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving to me. So I appreciate you reminding me of how important that is to me, but to a reminder that you can transform your health. You can transform a generational curse on your family. You can transform anything from your everyday choices, and it's never too late to start. You just start. You make a decision in this moment. Today, I'm going to change what tomorrow looks like. They're one step at a time towards a better health, better mindset, better physical body, better job, better gigs, better financial situation. We can all grow. We can all do better, just one step at a time, one day at a time. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much for that, Denise. Rich, rich, rich. Actually, I'm still in Conchita's, I think. She said the discussion is so rich today. So look at me. I stole it because I had read it, but that's exactly what came to mind. That share was so rich. It has so many things in it. I love the share about the man that you're helping, and it's a really good example for people who are wondering what the heck is she doing in Grenada. What do we mean by this gig expert? But what she's doing is changing lives. She's taking her experiences and she's figured out how to package those experiences in different ways to help other people transform their lives. If he can sell more product, his life can change because he has so much more income potential. And he didn't have to get on the internet. He already said it was going to be too hard. And a lot of people may have walked away from him. Oh, he's backwards. Oh, he's stuck in old times. I don't know how bad my audio is getting my yard pretty for the holidays so I can hear the lawn man. But what Denise has done is opened up possibilities for him as he is, instead of saying, oh, he's got too many limitations, there's nothing I can do for him, let me find the people who are willing to get online. That man is comfortable with who he is, and he showed up as himself with what he had, and she was willing to meet him right there, and together they've got a plan that's going to move his life forward. And that's exciting, and we all have that opportunity to affect that type of change for ourselves and for others. We come into each other's lives for different reasons. People come into our lives for different reasons, and when we allow those relationships to organically develop, there's something good that comes out of it for each person in the relationship. I think that's what Fam 5 is all about. We are better together. we're really good on our own, but we're so much better together. And that's the beauty of collaboration, and how we show up has transformed because of the interactions of the collective. So let's see. Denise, Conchita said yes, yes. Denise, Anthony Larusso said excellent shares today. Thank you, Andy. I mispronounced your name. I said Anthony. Andy Larusso said excellent shares today. Thank you so much for that. It has been a wonderful, wonderful conversation. I don't ever get tired of talking to my fam five and hearing the comments from, or reading the comments from you guys as we share. We're going to wrap up today. We've hit a little bit over an hour mark, so it's been a long conversation, mostly my fault. But this Transformation Tuesday has been absolutely amazing. And I'm thankful to each one of you, either on the stage or in the listening audience, who has shared with us today. We're going to wrap it up. Let me read the quote to you one more time. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. And that was by Charles Darwin. So take that with you today. Look for opportunities for growth and evolution, transformation. Figure out what works for you. Spend time with yourself, just asking yourself, what lights me up? What do I get really excited about? What am I really good at? What are the things that I'm known for? People always come to me with these types of questions or these types of requests. Those are clues. The answers to those questions are clues to your gifting. So find out what your unique talents are, lean into them, and don't just rest on them. Don't expect them to just take you somewhere. Actually put energy into them, develop them so that they can continue to grow and evolve as well, and watch your life and the opportunities grow and evolve right along with it. So that is it for today, guys, for the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. If you guys are not following, please follow everybody on the stage. Like, comment, and share the live. People can continue to watch this afterwards, and it helps us. It helps the algorithm, y'all. The algorithm is a real thing, and it pushes out the content and helps other people to be able to participate in our conversations. We will be back tomorrow for Wake Up Wednesday. And on Wake Up Wednesday, we talk about being intentional. So be prepared for another good conversation tomorrow around intentionality. And we look forward to not only what each of the Fam Five is going to bring, but what you guys will bring in your comments as well. And we've got one comment to take us out. Bolatito says, it's not the most intelligent that survived, but those who are responsive, and that is responsive to change. Thank you, Cassandra. You are very welcome, Bolatito. Thank you for being here with us. Conchita says, have an amazing day, everyone. You do the same. We appreciate you all and all of your engagement. See you back here tomorrow morning at 7:15 a.m. Central for Wake Up Wednesday. Have a blessed day, everybody. See you back here tomorrow.